Hi, how are you? I hope you all are doing well. So in this lecture I'm going to show you how could we download global climate models. That is, in short, we call it GCMs. I have already made this video in Urdu or in Hindi, so if you belong to that language you can go to my channel and you can watch it. But before that, let me show you how could you prepare your data for SWOT model. Your data must be in that format. Okay, let me open one of the file so you might just see it. How could we arrange, or how could we prepare the data? But before that, you have to download Notepad++ for making data more visually, like it would be more feasible for you to work with the data. So you have to download the Notepad++, the updated version. If you have, there are some easy steps that you could just follow and you could be able to download the Notepad++, and then you have to install it. As I have already installed this tool, so I have to cancel it. Okay, after that, let me show you that these all files must be arranged like this. Like if you see P351750, if I open the PCP file, you could see the file exists there, and you have to prepare your data like this, because you have to import this file to SWOT model for simulation your desire or your study area. It has name of the file, the latitude, the longitude, and the elevation of your station. You could see the P351750 that was existing there. Look over there. Okay, it has the coordinates and their elevation. So this is the basic criteria for preparing your data in the Notepad++. In the same way, you have to, if I open the simple file of P351750, it starts from 1979, 1st of January. So you have to arrange your data like that, and there must be consistency in each file. Like if you have 40,000 cells in one file, then this data must be consistent in each and every aspect. If I just scroll down, you could see that it has 12,997. Oh, and you must be consistent in this regard. If I open each and every file, I must have to have 12,099, like 997, and you have to arrange your temperature data like that. Okay, I have the 12,997 cells in this as well. You could see the date 1979, 1st of January, and first you have to place the maximum temperature, then minimum temperature, and put a comma between them. So this is the basic idea of how could we arrange the data, how could we prepare the data for SWOT model. I'm not making videos on SWOT yet, but I want to make all files that are necessary for SWOT. Then after we could play with SWOT model. You have to search CMIP5, and you have to open the second website. But nowadays, this video is of few months ago, so you have to search CMIP5 data download, and then click on more search option. When you click it, you will be having a new site. Okay, so it has some problem with it. Okay, after that you can look over the project, the product, institute, model, experiment family, time frequency, and things related to that. So we have to play with it. First of all, we have to click on project, and in this you have to click on CMIP5. Then go to, you're not supposed to click on product or things related to that. Then you have to click on model, and in this model, in model you have to select a proper model for your study area that must be relevant to your country. I mean that if someone has used particular model for your country or for your continent or for your region, then you would be able to use that particular model. You cannot randomly select any model for your study area. First you have to go through the literature, that what kind of models people has used in our country or in our region. Like if I'm taking the example of GFDL ESM2G just for an example, and I have the data, I guess. Let me check it if I have it. Look, these are the models that are frequently used in Asia. So for my research I had used these kind of data. There's an option of, there's a folder of CMHYD, so you would be having another video on which I would be telling you how could you extract your study area through CMHYD tool. So for example, let me check on GFDL ESM2G. After that, click on experiment, scroll down and click on, if you want to have the desire, like if you want to download the data of particular decade, then you could select decadal. If not, if you want data for century, then you have to click on historical. Okay, and then you have to select RCP, and selecting RCP means that you have to check the literature for that as well. For instance, for example, I am taking the RCP, let's take 8.5, or you could check 4.5. It is all your choice, but you have to check on the literature for that. Experiment family, you have to check historical and then RCP. RCP means future data and historical means previous data. That would be before 2006 or 2001. Okay. So for instance, I'm downloading both historical and RCP. You could download hourly data like 3-hour data, 6-hour data, daily data for SWOT model, but frequently we use daily data for SWOT. Okay, now you have to check the parameters that you want to download. It has the water quality data, water quantity data. It has plenty of data available, so it would be feasible for you if you want to have the desired data for your study area. Then you can check out, like if I just download the hydroxyl data, sulfur data, bromine, CO2, so you can just check it. Okay, for instance, I'm downloading the rainfall data and temperature data for SWOT model, so I have to click on PR, that is precipitation data. After that, I have to scroll down to TS max and TS minimum for temperature maximum and temperature minimum, because SWOT needs temperature maximum and minimum both. So click on TAS max and TAS minimum. Okay. You could see your if you want to download some other data that is not available in your country or in your region, then you could select that particular parameter from here and you have to download it. Then after, you have to apply uncertainty analysis. You have to do uncertainty analysis, and you have to apply different sort of methods, and that is we could call it accuracy method for correcting your data. That is variable long name. In the upper portion there was shorter name, so you have to click on search. Okay, after that Okay, I'm having two files. You might be having more than that. In the first file, if I just look over there, frequency experiment is historical, so it is historical data. And in the next, you could see RCP 8.5, so it is future data. Okay, so it is historical time data and it is daily data. You have to check these things. And in the okay, so we have the historical time data and we have the RCP 8.5. It means that it is the future data. Okay, next step is to click on the list files. It would take some time. Okay, there is some sort of error. You might came across this error, so you have to check this site regularly, and if you have to change the model for this time. Let me check if I just change the model whether it would work or not, but this error is very frequent in GCM, or we could say CMIP5 data search. So I have to search again, and I have to just change the model. Let me refresh the page. So I have to repeat the process as I did in the uh, previous model. I have to change the model this time. Select any model. Let's say, let me select Miru C5, and then I have to just scroll down for historical and RCP. Or for instance, I would just let it to, okay, let me check RCP 4.5 and then historical RCP. Time frequency is daily. Next step is to check on the variable. So you have to again, okay, if you do not check on any variable, so you will be having all variables at a time. So just search it and you will be having whole parameters. Okay, so now I got the, okay, so you could see the model name that if I just pronounce it, we have Atmosphere and Ocean Research Institute, the University of Tokyo. Click on list files. So you will be having different sort of variables here. Show all files. It would take some time. If it still gives me the error, so I have to move on and I have to click on another model on okay, so it has just opened. You have to scroll down and you have to go for your respective variable. If you want to check whether which parameter or which variable is this, so you just click on metadata and you could see the name, variable long name. So it is air pressure at convective cloud base. It has the unit in each and everything. You have to just scroll down to PR for precipitation. It has the data of each and every variable that you are intended to use in your research. So PRC, let me see, where is PR? So okay, for this model I'm having PRC and you might have PR. So you have to click on PR, then you could just click on more file metadata to check whether it is precipitation or not. You could see convective precipitation, and here is the unit KGM, and you just look over it. Okay, for downloading the process is very easy. You could see the date. It ranges from 1979 to 1970. Okay, 1979 to 1979, 1980 to 9. It has okay 1979 1st January to December. So it has one year data. You could see, and you could download yearly, or you might be having one file for a century, or in some models you will be having 10 years data, in some model you would be having 5 years data, in some model you will be having yearly data. So it depends on different models. When I was downloading GCMs for my study area, I had different files for different models. So you could see for HADGM2 I had this much files, which ranges from 2005 to 2010, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. So you could see there is a 5 years data in each file. And I had one model in which I had only one file for whole data, and which was ranging from 2006 to 2100, I guess. If I just open GFDL, so it is again 5 years data. So it depends on model, so you would be having different files for different model. So you have to download each and every file for your study area to download it. And then you have to scroll down to TAS max and TAS minimum for downloading temperature minimum and temperature maximum data for your study area. You have to collect each and every data, and you have to just make a new folder for that, and after that you have to save it for this, like you have to save it for now, and later on you will require these files for GIS, or you can use it in CMHYD tool, but I would prefer CMHYD tool because it is very feasible and it is very easy. Okay, I have opened another list in which you could see data ranges from 1850 to 1859. Means that it is 5 years data. So you have to download each and every file. No, actually I am wrong. It ranges 1850 to 1859, so it is 10 years data, 1 decade data. So you could easily download your historical data from here and your future data. Same is the case for temperature maximum and temperature minimum, and you have to make separate folders for that. Like you have to save temperature maximum and minimum in a single folder, and in another folder you have to make a folder for precipitation. The downloading process is very easy. You have to click on HTTP download, and you will be having a file in a download section, and you have to wait to download it. Okay, so I have to cancel it because I don't need it, as I have already downloaded it for my study area and I have extracted it for my study area. Once you click on HTTP download, so you would be having a single file to download. So you have to just download each and every file for the study area. If you want to download data for 1 century, so you have to go for 100 years data. If you want to make a research on climate, like future climate projection, then you have to download at least 1 century data. Then you have to go to TAS max and TAS minimum for downloading the temperature maximum and minimum data. You have to check for the date as well, that the data must be consistent. For SWOT model is very sensitive in data preparation, so it would take some time, and like you have to make sure that you have prepared your data in a very magnified way, so you would be having no errors and you would be having simulated results at the end. If you missed any of the step or any of the preparation work, so you would be having it might make you like it might be very difficult for you to make your work on SWOT. So you can open different files and you'll be having, if I open the historical, so it would be having historical data. If I open the RCP 4.5 file, so it would be having the future data. So you have plenty of pages over there, and you can just go to the next and next pages where you could find the future data. So I have to click on RCP 4.5 and then show all files for for opening the different files, and I have to go to my respective variable, that is precipitation for now. And you could download any sort of data from here that is easily available here. This data ranges from 2006 to 2009, 2010 to 2019, and it has just move on like that, and it ranges from 2006 to 2099. In the same way, you can just go to temperature maximum and temperature minimum data. So this is it for today, and I hope you have learned how could we download data, and in next lecture I would be showing you how could we extract this data in CMHYD tool. That is quite easy, and I will try to explain each and every aspect of the model. So this is the file that I have arranged. You could see I have the data of each model, that is for temperature, and the upper one is for precipitation. So you could see the number of files I have. You might be having more files or less files, it depends on your data and your model. So see you in the next video. I would like to tell you that kindly do subscribe, comment and like my video. That would be for my appreciation. So this is the CMHYD tool in which I would be trying to work in the next session, that how could we extract our study area and how could we use that particular model. So see you in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.